Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. We will be starting shortly. Thank you very much for joining us. In the meantime, so please note that this webinar is being recorded, and we will be starting with our presentation very shortly. Thank you. Hello, everyone, again, and thank you again for joining. We will be starting in just a few moments. We're giving some time for the latecomers to join us. My name is Alisa Hagen. I am the Director for Student Recruitment here. And
me, I'm Chiara. I already see some students of you that have been in contact with. I'm the Student Recruitment Manager. And we will be starting shortly.
Yes, in the meantime, please write in the chat where you're watching us from. We are thrilled to see that. And we will be starting in just a few moments. We're starting now. Thank you. We see that there are some people from Mexico and some people from Germany. We are today calling from Switzerland. We are, Israel. Very
Fantastic.
Nice. Very international.
From all over the world.
Absolutely. Germany again. Hello, Patrick. So we will be talking today about different programs that we offer at SUMAS, different campuses, Taiwan, wow, India, very nice. Thank you so much. So Just for your information, please write all the questions in the question and answer section, and we will be answering all of your questions at the end of this webinar. Let's run through the agenda. So we will do a quick introduction to SUMAS. Then Mr. Joachim van Nieuwen will speak about faculty and practical methodology. So if you do have questions about more academic side, then that's a good moment to ask any questions that you have. Then we will talk about the two campuses that we have, Gland and Milan, and as well as online, also our programs and careers, and then question and answers section at the end of the webinar. So welcome to SUMAS. You can see here our motto, inspiring innovative leaders. And we have been doing so since 2012. We were the first school worldwide to offer the Bachelor of Business Administration, MBA, master programs, and doctorate programs in sustainability management. We are fully accredited with the ACBSP, Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs, and this is international accreditation. We have 3 campuses. So as we mentioned, one here in Switzerland, one in Milan in Italy, and the online campus. 75% of SUMAS faculty have a PhD and extensive practical experience in their respective fields, and all of our studies are business oriented. We highly believe in practical education, and this is what we value here at SUMAS a lot. So a little bit more in detail about our accreditation. So as I mentioned, we are accredited with the Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs. We're also in Swiss Private School Register. We have a very high QS star rating. We are part of United Nations Global Compact initiatives, Principles for Responsible Management Education, and as well as international official providers of IBCP programs. Now I'm passing the floor to Mr. van Nieuwen, who has already joined us, and he will speak a little bit more in detail about faculty and practical methodology.
Hello, everyone. Hello from the academic office. Let me just share my screen with you. I've got a presentation that I would like to share with all of you. One second. Okay. Here we are. Can you see the presentation? Good. So I have about 15-20 minutes to talk about our faculty and teaching methodologies which we apply here at SUMAS. So first of all, a few minutes about myself is I joined SUMAS in the year 2016. So coming up on 5 years here working at SUMAS. I did an MBA here at SUMAS in sustainability management. So I'm also an alumni of the business school. I work in the academic office. That means I work a lot with professors, faculty, staff, and on the course organization and course planning. So I know a lot about our professors, faculty, courses, topics which are integrated into the courses, but also the teaching methodologies and the practical projects which our faculties are integrating into the courses. So that's what I would like to share today with you, to give you a little bit of a glimpse and an insight into what you can expect from what's happening in our courses and how courses are designed, and who are the professors you can expect to have in the courses, in your programs. So who are our professors and why do they teach at SUMAS? When we hire faculty and professors, as we are the sustainability management school, we naturally only attract students and faculty who have an interest in teaching sustainability business subjects. And that's kind of the first criteria that we look at when we hire professors. And besides that, they have to have very high ethical standards, because that's part of our values here at SUMAS, is having high ethical standards. 75% of our faculty has to have an academically qualified PhD degree or equivalent. This can be a DBA, a Doctorate of Business Administration, or a Doctor of Education, for example. This is a requirement from our accreditation, the ACBSP, And academically qualified PhD means a professor in finance has to have a PhD in finance, for example. We have liberty to introduce corporate faculty, which makes up 25% roughly of our faculty. And those are the ones who are bringing in their professional experience into the classroom. But also, when we even when we hire PhD professors, they have to have long-standing industry experience. So, as a business school, we are trying to provide solutions to the students and to give them a toolbox that they can pick and choose from when they are back in the workplace. And to do that, they need to get a clear understanding from our faculty what is applicable. So they not only have to manage the conceptual side of the courses, but also to demonstrate the application of business and sustainability in the classroom. So let's dive into a couple of our faculty profiles. Here we have, for example, Dr. Hans Bender. Dr. Hans Bender is a professor who is considered a corporate faculty, but also has a PhD in chemistry. He joined Procter & Gamble in the 1980s, and he started in the 90s. He started sustainability programs in Procter & Gamble. At the time, he was a pioneer in sustainability corporate projects. And at the time when he retired from Procter & Gamble, that was in 2012, after almost 30 years of corporate experience, he handed over this topic of sustainability to Virginie Helias, who is now the new appointed Chief Sustainability Officer at Procter & Gamble. And she took over this sustainability project from Dr. Hans Bender. He is now teaching in our courses Sustainable Innovation, Energy, Water, and Materials. That suits very well because he has a PhD in chemistry, plus 30 years of practical business research and development experience for Procter & Gamble. The second professor I would like to introduce to you is Dr. Gino Borelli. Gino Borelli was president of Pirelli Europe and also former vice president of Colgate. So he knows the fast-moving consumer goods world very well. He's now working as an interim CEO and as a professor and teacher to share his knowledge, which he's acquired in his corporate career. With us, he is teaching strategic marketing and digitalization, because digitalization was he wrote his doctorate of business administration about this topic. And in this semester, which finished last week, he did a corporate project together with Procter & Gamble, the brand Herbal Essences, and our students together. Next professor I would like to introduce is Dr. Catherine Ferrier. She is a corporate social responsibility expert. She's been teaching at the University of Geneva for many, many years and was the executive director of this department, of the CSR department of the University of Geneva. She's teaching responsible management and corporate social responsibility with us. She has a long experience in sustainability related topics and CSR, knows the corporate world very well, is very engaged in sustainability events here in Geneva and Europe, and is besides this specialization is also an expert in climate change and carbon markets. Next in line is Laurent Meda. Laurent is one of our corporate faculty without a PhD, but his experience in sustainability goes back 25 years. Laurent comes from the fashion and textile industry, and now he is the cradle-to-cradle assessor for Switzerland. Cradle-to-cradle is a circular economy assessment scheme which companies can apply for their products, and so he knows a lot about life cycle assessment. And we always try to find professors who joined the sustainability journey long ago, and not only since a couple of years since sustainability is fashionable, but we always try to get professors into the classroom who have a very, very long and decades of experience in sustainability, of the time also when people did not talk about sustainability so much. That's important because then they can tell a totally different story in the classroom to the students and give sustainability a completely holistic angle to look at for the students. The next one is Dr. Rafi Chamasian is an internationally recognized entrepreneur himself. He teaches entrepreneurship and finance courses with us. Rafi knows both the corporate world, but also the public sector world. He's worked for the World Health Organization for a while, and also for the corporate private sector. So he knows both worlds, and that's very interesting because under the umbrella of the Sustainable Development Goals, public and private sector is moving a bit closer together. And he's, besides teaching entrepreneurship, he's also teaching social entrepreneurship to our students, and he's helping them to transform their ideas into viable business models and to bring them to the market. Dr. David Neto is an economist and works for the United Nations. He holds a PhD in economics from the Sorbonne, which is a very, very highly recognized university for economics. He's publishing, teaching, and global economics and quantitative methods, which are both the numbers subjects with us. But he has a very practical approach, even in those subjects. So when he's teaching the quantitative subjects, he's working with real data from his work at the United Nations. So he's bringing in real cases and real data as cases into his classes. And even though it's the numbers subjects which are usually not the most favored by the students, in his case, it's he makes it very, very interesting by bringing in real data into the classroom. That's fantastic for the students. Dr. Alban Quillot teaches operations management and supply chain, green production. Alban works 100% for a company, for Maersk, but also previously worked for Kühne + Nagel, both powerhouses in logistics and supply chain. And he's choosing to work at SUMAS and to teach at SUMAS because he likes the idea of sharing his knowledge in sustainability and supply chain. During the times of COVID, which changed everything in supply chain and operations management, he introduced very, very up-to-date cases about COVID and supply chain, and that was interesting to see for the students and to learn about this current topic and how it changed the supply chain of companies. Eduardo Flores is an expert in sustainable hotels management. He teaches sustainable hotel management and sustainable food and beverage management here at SUMAS. He is original from Mexico. He was the director of sustainability for a sustainable hotel in Mexico. And besides that, he's also a program development officer here at the IUCN. That's the International Union for Conservation of Nature. That's where my office is located. He is an architect and also holds green building certifications. So he knows not only the operational side of sustainable hospitality, but also the buildings and the architectural side. Coming to sustainable fashion, Caterina Felice is our professor in the Milan campus, focusing on sustainable fashion and designing sustainable fashion. She is working in that field since over 25 years and has 15 years of teaching experience for a number of fashion schools. And she's worked for many, many different fashion brands in the past, mostly as a designer and as a sustainable fashion designer. So she's very, sustainable fashion is not new to her. She's been doing this for about 10 years. And she's bringing in really interesting perspective and cases. She's very well connected in the world of corporate sustainable fashion management, and she's acquiring and bringing in a lot of really interesting guest lectures into her classes. Eduardo Escobedo is teaching international business and biodiversity. That talks all about where businesses meet nature and that means plants and animals, if you want. And he has a very practical approach, works as a consultant, as a business and biodiversity consultant for international companies and corporates. He also is the founder and the CEO of a sustainable sourcing platform, because that's where a lot of the biodiversity is meeting business, is when businesses are taking out the resources out of nature. And he's located here in Geneva, is teaching in our Swiss campus, but also in the online campus. Henri Gauthier is a former CEO of a Swiss finance company. He's now teaching leadership, career management, and personal branding with us. He's a leadership trainer and executive coach. That's what he's focusing on at the moment. And his classes are very interactive, and students really he is motivating our students to use their leadership skills in order to drive sustainability. And that's fantastic to see. We also have a good number of corporate guest speakers, and we're bringing those in on a regular basis. I selected 2 today, but the list is very long. One is Nicola Giugioli. He's the CEO of EcoAge, is a Milan-based sustainable communications and marketing company. And he comes into our sustainable innovations and fashion classes as a guest speaker to share his knowledge as a CEO with our students. The second one I'd like to introduce to you is Dr. Julian Bucher. He's the founder of Environmental Action, but not only this, he also founded many other sustainability and sustainable consulting companies in Switzerland. And he holds a PhD in water treatment and sustainable innovation. He knows a lot about circular economy and life cycle assessment. Those are his topics. And when he comes into our classrooms, that's what he's sharing with our students. So what are the teaching methodologies here at SUMAS? As I mentioned, as a business school, our focus is on giving students practical tools which they can later on apply immediately in the workplace. And therefore we integrate many live projects and real company projects and scenarios into the classroom. We believe in small group learning and interaction, so our classes are between 15 and 35 students. And we believe also in experiential learning, so having the students working on something real rather than just a theoretical case. And the students' takeaway and the students' learning is usually much more intense, and they remember their learnings and their experience for a long time. We use an e-learning platform for all of our courses, whether that's on campus or online, so to be paper-free, and to our students and we prefer to work with a web-based e-learning platform. And as I already mentioned, we bring in a lot of guest speakers throughout the duration of the semesters, which we are sharing with our online students, doctorate students, on-campus students. So we're bringing everyone together and to benefit from those corporate guest lectures. The list of the companies with which we have conducted joint projects and student projects is very long. This is only a small selection of companies with which we've worked with. We've also worked with many international companies remotely, where the companies are dialing in through web conferencing. That's usually very interesting. And we always try to expose our students to a variety of companies. And that means that we expose them to work with small sustainability startups, but also family-sized businesses and larger brand and multinational brands, because the challenges in sustainability are different from company to company and from industry to industry. And we want that our students, during the time that they're here at SUMAS, they experience to work with different industry partners, and they learn what are the different limitations and what are the different impacts of companies in business and sustainability. This is what it usually looks like. So the companies come to our campus to present the project challenge to the students, or we go to the companies and we visit their the factories, or we visit their offices and have presentations in their premises. And then the students work during the duration of the semester on those projects. And at the end of the semester, they present in front of the project partners. And this can be the CEO, the owner, this can be the board, this can be the departments that they're working with. But usually it's those presentations are quite high level, because the companies always have a strong interest in picking the brains of our students and to learn what are the sustainability solutions that they are proposing to solve the problems that they were presented with at the beginning of the semester. This was another project we conducted 2 years ago. Is tire recycling solutions as innovations and circular economy company. They have won multiple startup awards here in Switzerland for their very innovative way of recycling car tires. And that was a fascinating project with many interesting angles. And Staffan Algran is the CEO of this company. He's not far away located here from our campus in Switzerland. Paolo Revellino is the deputy head for sustainable finance. He works for the World Wildlife Fund, and with him we conducted a sustainable finance project where the students researched about millennials and how they perceive and react to ESG funds. This is Virginie Helias, the Chief Sustainability Officer of Procter & Gamble. We've just concluded a project with them, with their brand Herbal Essences just last week, where the P&G managers came to our campus and the students presented in front of them. These were some of the projects which we've did. We worked this semester with Mandarin Oriental, with the Dusit Thani in the Maldives, where one of our alumni is the responsibility manager of the resort. Then Procter & Gamble and EcoAge. Some of the pictures, of course, there's also there's a challenge to solve, but it's also about the experience, and they're always great fun, and the learning takeaway of the students is really amazing. And that's what we want. I want to introduce the way we graduate our students. So when students are at the end of their master's and bachelor degrees, we have 2 ways to graduate them. And for the MBA students, they are graduating through what we call the CEO Challenge. We work here with a business simulation provider called Capstone. They're based in Chicago, and they're one of the largest business simulation providers in the world. And students here learn business strategy in a very applied way, and they have to demonstrate that they can apply the learnings which they have acquired during their journey at SUMAS. They simulate 8 years of business as a CEO of their company, and they have to outperform their fellow students in the classroom. So it's a very interesting and it's a very applied way of graduating for the students. For the master students, we have a capstone project which is more focused on developing a meaningful sustainability-related consulting project. And here the students either have the chance to find a consulting project partner on their own, or we bring them together with one of the companies of our network, and they can work with them through the duration of an entire semester on a meaningful consulting project. And so both ways are very applied and aim to measure the demonstration of the students' knowledge in business and sustainability. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what we want, because when students start to work for the companies, we want them to, from day one, to make changes and have an impact in their workplace. And that's why we have chosen 2 very applied ways of graduating them. That's it from my side. That's it from the academic office today. Thank you very much for having me in this call. If you have any questions, let Lisa and Chiara know, and I can catch up with answering them. They actually
have one question.
You already have a question. Okay, very good.
Is there any course related to analysis or design of public policies for sustainability?
So public policies, and we have integrated into two courses. One is international business and biodiversity, and here is a lot about environmental policies and environmental law. Many of those is actually produced by the organization in which our campus is located. Is the IUCN, which is the highest environmental policy and lawmaker in the world. And they not only make environmental law and policies, but also business and biodiversity law. So that's the course of Eduardo Escobedo, who has about 20 years of experience in international business biodiversity policy making. And the second course is responsible management and CSR. Here is more the corporate sustainability reports, benchmarks that students are learning. And so in those two courses, the topics are covered.
Okay, there's another one. I saw one of the projects which is related to wildlife conservation. I'm really interested in that. Do you know what the project was about?
So with the IUCN, we are really lucky in terms of conservation. We can cover a lot of different topics because of the location where we are in Switzerland and the relation to the World Wildlife Fund, which is when you look out of my window, you will see the logo of the World Wildlife Fund, the IUCN, and Ramsar. They're all headquartered. They have the global headquarters here in our building. So we meet them on the day-to-day basis. We are here. We've worked with the World Wildlife Fund, was Paolo Revellino, this project on environmental funds and environmental finance. But there was many other projects where we've worked with the IUCN, also together with Ramsar. We've had a beach, wetland, and plastic pollution project some time ago. I can, if this potential student is interested, we can send them the project report, or I think there might even be a bit of some more information on our website. But in terms of conservation, the topics we cover is or we can cover, or if students want to work with one of these organizations, they're really around in our neighborhood.
Thank you so much, Joachim. There is a question about our project management course as well. So from Cavalia, can we take up a project in our local city or town to solve a sustainability issue or problem?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And yes, it's fantastic if that's your aim, because as an educational institution, we are really focusing on motivating our students to have an impact in their local community. And we have many students who do that and take advantage of this. And it's the biggest compliment that we can receive as a business school is when students try to solve local problems. And it fits very well to what we teach here is we teach international sustainability and business. And when students walk away here from our campuses, they have a very broad scope and concepts and a toolbox that they can transfer the knowledge and apply in different places. So yes, in project management, especially in the online courses, when you're working in the online, when you're in the online master MBA in project management, in the project management course, which is starting today, by the way, students can choose their project partner and propose a project to the professor. And it's fantastic. I mean, this is one of the things that we like to see in our students is leadership to take the lead on local projects in sustainability. So definitely yes.
Thank you. The rest of there are more questions, but there are more to ask about admissions and job placement. So if you don't have any other questions about the projects or academic side courses, then we can maybe continue with the rest of the presentation. It seems that we're done.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Joachim.
We will take it from there. Thank you.
Thanks to you. I'll stop sharing my screen and I wish you a good rest of the virtual open house.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you. And we're sharing our screen again. Perfect. So on to the next slide. Oops. And we will speak a little bit more in detail about our different campuses. So as you can see here, 2 of them are in Switzerland and Italy, very close to each other. It's about 3.5 hours from where we are to Milan. And we also have the online campus. So I will bring you through some of the facts about the Swiss campus. So we are located in Gland. This is between Geneva and Lausanne, a wonderful area. We're between the mountains and the lake. Hence, there's a lot of opportunities for students to do winter and summer sports. We're really centrally located in Europe. It takes around maximum 3 hours to fly to any other country.
Even by train in Europe.
Exactly.
Paris, Milan, they are all really close by.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And we are also very close to Geneva. In half an hour, you're in Geneva, which is the headquarters for many international organizations. Then also even around, as you go around the coast of the lake, there's a lot of also organizations that are located outside of Geneva, but in between Geneva and Lausanne, FIFA, FIBA, UEFA, all the UN organizations, and here, like Joachim mentioned, even in this building, we're having WWF, IUCN, so it's absolutely fantastic for students that want to take an internship, for example, in one of those organizations.
Or working on project with them.
Absolutely, yes. Local events, we're restarting now to have events. Actually, just next door, it's Nyon. It's a little bit of a bigger town, and right now, last weekend and next weekend, there's the Rive Jazzy happening. There's Paleo, there's Montreux Jazz
Festival that is fully booked already. So we weren't fast enough. Many people are having fun at this time,
and it's fantastic because yes, even if you don't get a ticket to go and see the concert, there's a lot of concerts on the street and street food. It's absolutely fantastic. Switzerland is known to be the biggest producer of chocolate, of course, for its banking, for safety,
the watch as well,
the watch industry,
the luxury sector
absolutely,
as well, for hotel.
Yes,
yeah,
and it's a birthplace of the Red Cross, also Geneva in a way. Like I mentioned, so you can go and do a lot of activities. Our students are running marathons, they're doing skis. We're just 20 minutes away from the ski slopes here in winter and just 5 minutes away from the lake. So there's diving, there's a lot of activities happening here. And of course, the fact that it's one of the safest countries in the world, that's very important as well. Then
perfect. Then I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a little bit more about our new campus in Milan. It was it started in 2019. As you can see there from the picture, is actually part of our base. Is the building where there is like the MUDEC. There are also some other interesting offices. There is always something going on. Like for example, here you can see, of course, it's still at the heart of Europe. Is the fashion capital, but as well has one of the greenest capital. Since the Expo in 2015, they made a lot of improvement, like the transition into green city, like Bosco Verticale. And as well as many of you might know me, Italian myself from Milan, the excellent great food, the events that are going on, and as well the most heritage site in the world. As well as beautiful landscape and historical monuments. So it's a mix between, if Switzerland is more about nature and sports, Milan, I guess it would be more about culture and vibrancy in regards to fashion and design. So here we can see also our online campuses.
Yeah,
that Alisa will talk about.
Absolutely. So that's our third campus, and this is the most flexible one. So the online programs are designed for working professionals, and I would say 95% of our online students are in fact combining work and study. Innovative learning. So of course, it's a little bit of a different setting than on campus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flexibility. you are receiving all the information weekly, and you have to be organized a schedule working on this information according to your schedule. Then if you want, so there is the core of the program that is available on our online learning platform, and outside of that you have all the additional events, so different webinars, guest speakers, some of those that also Mr. Van Nieuwen mentioned. You have different conferences, also all the events organized by the partners, so both in Basel, Milan, and here in Switzerland. If you're interested in joining for, say, a conference or Fashion Week in Milan, you can always just let us know. You will be invited to those events always. Just let us know if you want to be physically present, and you can always do that as well. Continuous student assessment and weekly personalized feedback from our professors is also part of this program. And then live webinars and guest speakers, which are optional. Yes, it's very important to note. You can also go through the whole program just by doing what's in the core. Or if you want more interaction with other students and professors, then you can participate in live events.
So here we've already spoken.
Yes,
Joachim actually already introduced some of the projects we have done this year.
Yes, and we actually had 2 webinars in 2 past weeks where we were talking a little bit more in detail about the Mandarin Oriental and the Procter & Gamble project. So if you're interested, you can go to our YouTube channel and check them out there. Then you can also see, talking about those projects, there are some pictures. So the one of them is from Dusit Tani. That's a project we have with Hotel in Maldives. So this project was mostly by virtual communication. As you can see, our students are on the cameras, and actually the left face you can see on the left is Federico Catayotto. He's our alumnus, and he's working as a CSR manager right now in Dusit Tani. So it was his initiative actually to do the project with SUMAS. So you can see it's always a very
win-win situation, sharing as well with our students.
Ecosystem, yes, it's very developed. And then on the left is the picture from Mandarin Oriental here in Geneva. You can see our students with the representatives of the hotel. Yeah, go ahead, check this video out, because you will see that they went really to see the details that no one never can see except you're working in Mandarin Oriental, really behind the scenes. And it was really amazing experience for our students. And right now, so they actually met outside of the project again with Mandarin Oriental, and they're discussing more projects in the future. So this was a very successful project as well.
And then we see their ideas implemented as well, which is super.
Yes.
Something really rewarding.
Yes,
that's the
absolutely.
most significant part.
So on to our programs.
Yeah, so our programs, as you can see here, we do have undergraduate and postgraduate. So undergraduate program is going to be Bachelor of Business Administration, in which we will go into detail later within the next slide. And postgraduate, we do have a Master in Management, Master of Business Administration, also called MBA, Certificate of Advanced Study, which is a short course but more intense, specific on sustainability, and the DBA, the Doctorate of Business Administration. The majors for all these programs, mostly, they will be related especially in sustainability management, which is the most generic one, and it is also the one that will open you more door. But then if you already have a background, or if you would like to focus specifically in a segment, we do also have sustainable fashion management, finance responsible investment, sustainable hospitality management, and sustainable tourism management. So talking about our bachelors here, it will be 3 years program. The intake is either February or September. There are going to be 33 core modules with a total of 210 ECTS. And you can see here that it will be divided actually in 6 parts. And we do also have company project, or as well the experiential camp. So for example, our students from the last bachelor, they had the occasion to go to Thailand and work together. Was it like a resort, and see as well like how the mechanism of tourism is going on there to improve also, and kind of like provide ideas. They also did Iceland with the tourist that is being developing. Within the next year, there is such a small destination with a lot of tourists that is actually really difficult to manage. So they also contribute to that. There was also Costa Rica, Bhutan with the National Growth of Happiness. So there is plenty of opportunities for also the other students from the other courses to join this experiential camp and kind of like have a deeper insight into several situations regarding sustainability. So here you can see the master and the MBA. As I was mentioning before, we do have 5 majors. Only for the master, we only have 4 because the sustainable finance and responsible investment is available only for the MBA. And for the campus in Switzerland, that is our headquarters, we will have all the 5 available, while in Milan is specifically focused in fashion and design, as we were mentioning before, but as well you will be able to do the sustainability management. Perfect. So the structure of the master on campus and the MBA on campus, it will be actually divided into 4. We can see here the fall semester, the spring semester. The intakes are February and September. It can be 1 year full-time or 2 years part-time. And everything, of course, as all our program will be in English.
And we're passing on to the online program. So here, like I mentioned, it's a program designed for working professionals from all over the world. It's fully online without any obligation to come on campus at any point. Same accreditation as on-campus programs, which is important. Fellow students are international business experts. On the right here, you can see some of the companies that our online students are coming from. So it's Sephora US, we have Hermès Paris, Accor Group, Novartis, and these are just some, right? There's it's truly international. We have students from China, from Australia, here from Europe, from Africa, from US, Canada, Latin America. So truly, truly international. Very interesting exchanges are happening also in the online program because most of the people would be already, especially for the MBA, right? Master tend to be a little bit younger. For the MBA students, they already tend to be holding managerial positions or having some experience in sustainability. So the exchanges that happen are really interesting to read. And as we mentioned before, one of the questions was actually about this. You can work on the project for your own company, which is very important for the online students. So the structure of the online program, you can see it's divided in 6 terms. The starting dates would be January, April, July, and October. So the last intake of 2021 is happening in October this year. Then the 5 terms, you can see them color coded. They have the coursework, and the 6th term is the white term, which is the Capstone CEO challenge that Mr. Van Newlin also talked about it, about more in detail. The length of the program is 15 months to 3 years, depending on you. So if you want to finish everything as soon as possible, you can do so in 15 months. If you want to reduce the weekly workload, then you can take up to 3 years to finish the program. So that's another part of the flexibility that we are providing the students with. Now onto the CAS program. So the CAS is a top-up option for the professionals wanting to receive an exclusive knowledge in sustainability. It's mostly for people that already have master or MBA degree and they just want to get the major courses from our master's programs. The same 5 majors are available as for all of our programs. The length of the program, depending on when you start and what is your choice of the course, can be from 5 to 11 months. And you have the same access to the events online and on campus as MBA and master students. You can also participate in the experiential camp. A little bit on the hybrid options. So there is on campus, there is online, and then there's hybrid. So you can do, for example, 1 semester on campus and the rest online. If you live somewhere not too far from our campuses, then you can do some of the courses on campus, some of them online at the same time as well. We will create a personalized schedule according to your needs and availability. You will take the best of both online and on-campus experiences, combining flexibility and networking opportunities, and you make your own on-campus and online courses selection. Of course, we will guide you, we will tell you which courses would make more sense to take online and on campus, but also it's very personalized. Some people would need more face-to-face time with the professor, for example, for number-heavy courses, right? And they would like to take those on campus. Some people would highly like to participate in the projects, for example, and then they would take those courses on
And as
campus.
well on the needs and the requirements of everyone.
Absolutely. So that's also a very interesting, very popular option. And then we actually also had another question on the chat about the on-campus placement opportunities towards the end of the program. So we are covering that now.
Hi, Madhu.
So you can see some of the aspects of our career placement. So we are organizing career fairs regularly. Of course, the last one was a few years ago now. We couldn't organize any big events,
but we're coming back.
We're coming back. We're already planning the next one. So this will be probably happening by the end of this year or beginning of 2022. Projects with partners is something that we already mentioned, but also think about it as an excellent networking opportunity.
Of course.
Yes, we have the job offers that are coming from the partners. So if you have done a project for them, of course, your chance of getting hired is way higher because they already saw you working, they know you. Exclusive access to sustainability careers and network with the community and partners. So that's something that I'm also talking about. You, for example, are coming to, as an online student or on campus, coming to participate to an event here on campus, you're sitting next to people from the HR, to the managers of all these international organizations. So if you want to then do an internship or a job, and in fact, we have quite a few of our alumni that are working in this building, then you have a very high chance as well of getting hired. And then last but not least, personal career guidance and professional development program is something that our students are enjoying. We have a career counselor here on campus that will be happy to have a one-on-one meeting with you, go through your CV, work according to the job offer that you're interested in. And then when he will have an idea of what you're searching for. Also, once he receives a job offer that will match with your interests and your profile, he can even send you the job offer directly and you can apply like that as well. And professional development program is what we offer for our on-campus students. So after you're done with your master or MBA program, you can stay for another year on either of the campuses and continue to either do an internship or find your first job. So there you concentrate even more on the job search, in fact. Some of our stats.
So here, we can see that the 40% of SUMAS alumni are C-level executives, so either manager or director. The 80% of them, something that we're really proud of, they become entrepreneurs. So they build up the knowledge in order to have their own business with us. And the SUMAS MBA average salary actually after the program increase of 112%. So if you're looking either to specialize yourself a little bit more in the career you currently have or to switch career completely, then the master, the MBA, or even the doctorate, it will definitely give you the right tools. Here there are some of the companies our students have worked with. So there is PepsiCo, WWF, La Roche, Dell, Impact Hub, etc., etc.
Yeah, this is just to give you an idea of course there is more, but this is just to show the diversity, right? They work for
Cartier,
NGO, they work for multinationals, they work for governments. So really sustainability is a specialization that can bring you to a lot of different careers.
Indeed, yeah, it's really wide. And we can see here some example as well of our alumni where they ended up. So this is one of the most asked questions. We have, for example, Francini, that she is a sustainable integration and reporting in the Department of the Government of South Africa. So also governmental careers, but as well as Judita, private philanthropy and manager, and many others, like Sebastian, that he become the founder and CEO of his company Southern Rush, and we can just continue like this forever, but we will just try to see and see if you have any question and try to answer your questions. So we will focus a little bit.
In fact, there is one question that we're going to answer right now. So who can apply for this program? You can apply for the bachelor program with a high school diploma and all the rest of the documents that you see here. For the master and MBA, we'll need your bachelor transcripts and diploma, plus for all the applications, it's updated CV, motivation letter, and passport copy. If you're ready to apply, just send a note to one of us. We'll put our emails as well in the chat so that you can contact us directly. And we can guide you through the admissions as well. So here you can see our contacts. So Julia Cirillerino is also our colleague that's working for Italy. So if you are from Italy, please feel free to contact her. Otherwise, you can see my WhatsApp and my email address, Alisa Hagen and Chiara. So Chiara Ghiberti at SUMAS.ch and her WhatsApp. You can see all our languages between the three of us. We've got quite trying. And then now we can go to the questions again. So we did this one. When is the application deadline for the February semester? It will be on the 15th of October. So you still have got some time. However, the earlier you apply, of course, the better. This is done, and then I saw.
I believe in the chat there were some questions.
What is the difference between the MBA and the master program? So the difference would be in the core courses. On the MBA level, you have 9 core courses, and 4 out of 9 are heavily number based. So you have managerial accounting, global economics, managerial finance, and quantitative methods for business decision making. This is the program that is, the purpose of this program is to help you achieve more managerial positions already when you're working, right? So most of the students, like I mentioned before, have already had some work experience, or we also have, I would say maybe 10% of the MBA students go directly from bachelor to MBA, but they had Bachelor of Business Administration. So they were already studying business and they're continuing from BBA to MBA. So these are the 2 paths that would lead you to the MBA. Master is more focused on developing your soft skills. So you have courses like development of intercultural skills, career management, human resource management in the core. The major courses would be the same for MBA and master. And there it's more, master is targeted to launch your career in the sustainability, right? And this is not to say, we also have students that, for example, we have a designer from LA for a big brand, and she wants to do the program, but she didn't want to do all the number heavy, because she says, I never worked with numbers and I don't want to work with numbers at all. So she's doing master, even though she has many years of work experience. So it's always it
will go case by case as well.
Case by case.
On us, we will see the situation, we will evaluate and make sure that that's the right choice for you.
Absolutely.
We have some other.
Now, I have a bachelor degree, however, was not taught in English. I have 15 years of working experience in English spoken environment. Do I still need to? No. So our requirement for the English proficiency is either IELTS or TOEFL test, unless you've been studying or working in English for at least 3 years. So 15 years of work experience in English, you don't need to provide any proof of English fluency.
I also seen here from Grace, kindly advise how to access the hybrid option in the application. I'm on your website. So Grace, for the hybrid option, is actually better if you write us.
Yes.
So we can work on your customized schedule, because you will need to select the subject. So it's not something that can be done straight online. We will be doing it for you. So contact either me or Alisa or Julia. and we can work on it and get your application going.
Also for Vivian, who's asking for difference between the MBA and master, also send an email to one of us, because we actually have the whole presentation where we cover the differences more in detail. There is a differences also in the number of credits,
as like
how you do your capstone. The capstone would be different for the two, so there's more detail. So we can send you the whole presentation and you can look at it. Next question, can I send through my application for master if I still have some modules to complete? I understand from the bachelor, Julia. Yes, you can. In case you don't have your final degree and final transcripts yet, you can submit your current transcripts. You will receive a conditional application based upon your graduation. So as soon as you send the final results, you can confirm your place. So this is done. What would be the application deadline for October? It's 25th of July.
Yeah, it's actually pretty soon.
It's pretty soon, but yeah, if you are ready, I advise, I know that we've said it a few times already, but do get in touch with one of us, because we can guide you towards, for example, MBA or master. Sometimes people have doubts between the majors as well. So do I take sustainability management as more wide one, or do I specialize, go more in detail in hospitality or fashion, because I'm passionate about it, right? So it's always better to have a personalized consultation with one of us. That's what we're there for at the end of the day. We'll be very happy. So this we did. Are there scholarship opportunities for international students? Yes, we do offer a limited number of scholarships. Right now for September, of course, we don't offer anymore, but for next year, for February, there are some scholarship opportunities still available. And also to add on to the question about the deadline, if you are planning to, for example, apply for scholarship, the earlier you apply, the higher your chance to get the scholarship, because we have limited number. We write to one of us, we will send you a link. You can also find it on our website. There's 5 topics for the essays available. So basically when you apply, you also submit your scholarship essay and you can win a scholarship of up to 30%. The scholarships are only available though for the on-campus. Yes, so not for hybrid or online.
And here I think is a question for you. From Karan. Thank you for the webinar. Are there any prerequisites for joining the doctor program? Education or experience?
Yes, so I'm the specialist of the DBA programs. Yes, so you will need, in order to access the DBA, you would need to submit either a copy of your MBA transcripts and diploma, or you can also do the so if you have many years of work experience, if you worked with business, because at the end of the day, yeah, that's something that we don't cover in this open day, but we will probably organize the one especially for the DBA students. But their thesis is what you're working on individually, and with the help of our professors. There's workshops happening throughout the program that you are welcome to join, either on campus or online. It's completely flexible program. You can choose to do it 100% online, 100% on campus, or as a mix of two. So again, it's very personalized. We can make it work according to your schedule, and the result of the DBA program has to be research that's practicable and that's applicable to the business world of today. So that's the main criteria. You have to come to the DBA program already with the understanding of what you want to research. Now, kindly do it. Oh, okay, this will answered, I think.
Here's one.
To the DBA specific webinar. Yes, absolutely, we'll organize it. That's perfect. So the MBA and master costs, Vivian, if you don't mind, yes, send us a message, because it depends if you're interested in online, on campus, which campus. Exactly, there's a lot of different options. So just write us down. Yes, we will be happy to answer your questions. How can one access the course content of the MBA? Just write us. We do have course descriptions. Write us an email. We'll be happy to send you the content of the major that you're interested in. Perfect. And if there's no more questions, we can wrap it up.
I think we are good.
Perfect.
Good for now.
That's great. Well, we're looking forward for your emails with the questions. In the meantime, do check our YouTube. There's a lot of guest speaker sessions. There are a lot of other webinars on different topics that you may find interesting. And we're hoping to see you soon, either in our online or on campus student body.
Yeah, I saw some new faces, so we look forward to getting in contact with you.
Absolutely. Thank you again and have a great day.
Thank you.